In this interview, we talk about how to use failure to help you get 100 million views, how to make time even when you don't have time, and how to look good even standing next to this guy. What's up, influencers? I'm here with Antonio of Real Men, Real Style. Did I say that right?
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I said that right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For being on Video Influencers, here where we build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. And just love your channel.
Thank you, Benji. I appreciate it.
And the little blurb that I got from your YouTube is building a wardrobe that complements personal style. And cool story is when I first started my channel, it was supposed to be about man stuff, right? Because my wife is doing a lot of female-centric kind of topics. So my name was Benji Man TV. So when I saw your channel, it intrigued me because I had this idea way back when, and we were talking, there's a lot of channels now, but you're just crushing it right now. So
I know, you should have jumped in.
What? Oh yeah.
You're missing out on
no. Dude, I'm not, I can't even, I watch your videos for tips, right?
This guy has style.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what I love is like, I'm not about suits, I'm about practicality.
Yeah.
And for the image you want to project, you know, and you want to come off as approachable, friendly, but still, take care of your hair. It's a great linen shirt. And I mean, it's a great look for him. And it works for him.
Guys, check it out. Real Men, Real Style. And let's just talk a little bit about your channel because I think your journey is what I really want to share with the viewers.
Okay.
You're at 1.3 million subscribers. You've had 100 million views teaching about personal style. But I know your channel is about so much more, right? Like, especially recently, you're doing a lot of advice videos for men, not just about the wardrobe. So can you tell us about how you got your start and where you're at today and that journey to get there?
Okay, so I started online business back in 2007, started an online custom clothier, and I had to figure out how to get business to my little website in the corner of the web, and so I started creating content. I had a guy, Brett McKay at The Art of Manliness, find me in 2008 and say, hey, Antonio, I love your stuff. Can you come write for me? So tip right there is get really good at what you're doing and create. Now, I didn't have a fashion degree. I just got out of Texas with an MBA, so I kind of understood business, but I really had to be self-taught. So I realized that there was a lack of information on the web when it came to men's style concerning custom suits. So I went out there, bought all the books I could, read, and the way that I learn is I write things out, I type things out. So I put my notes online within my website. We started getting, I think we got about 100,000 people a month. Uniques right to my little website. I'm like, what's going on? We're not really selling suits at this point. So I think I realized I can actually, I'm a pretty good writer. I got a lot better once I wrote about 100 articles. And I could put out good, detailed information. And I shared my journey of growth. But that kind of positioned me as an expert. And I started off with that written word. Then we started doing infographics. In 2012, created Real Men, Real Style because I saw what Brett was doing at The Art of Manliness. I said, okay, I need to be able to do this here. And I thought, what could separate me from all the other men's style blogs out there? And it's not going to be a blog. I got to do a vlog. And video for me was relatively light. And what I mean by that, like there are certain things that we do that we have a natural talent to be able to do. I don't mind getting up in front of an audience. There's just a switch that flips on me when I get up in front of people. I have no issue with this. So I realized, okay, I'll do video. I can talk. I have the gift of gab. And I already knew the content because I'd written, hundreds of articles already at this point. So I knew the content and I just delivered it in a different way. And we got into YouTube in 2012, kind of got serious, I think in about 2014. And just in the last 6 months have just really shot up. We went from like 700,000 subs to 1.3 million very quickly. But, and people see those numbers, but what they don't see is that my first, I did 200 videos in 200 days, and they were just, I was just cranking out information, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, the basement of my house with a black background. And I didn't realize, they weren't great videos. I had no images or anything. My wife, I mean, we would cut the end, cut the beginning, and I would do it all in one take, and these were 10-minute videos. But because I knew the content, because I was enthusiastic about it, people could feel the energy about something that a lot of people don't normally feel energy about. And they were actually getting useful information. And that's what kind of put us on the map. But those first 200 videos got me 1 million views. Like you said, now we've maybe made 600 more videos, and those got me 99 million more views. So you see, it's like a snowball, and it just gets bigger and bigger. And I think the key for people just starting off is to know that you're satisfying a demand, that you have customers willing to pay. And when you know that, then you can put in the time and effort to build the core of that snowball and then just get it rolling.
Yeah, invest for the long term, right? Like this is not a short term thing.
You know, that is correct, but make sure that you've got measuring points along the way. Because if you have to be honest with yourself and don't, you know, if you keep hitting your head against a solid brick wall, your head will eventually give in. But if you realize that, you know, I can actually, you know, I've got a hammer and I can keep hitting it, you will get through that wall. So make sure you're hitting it with the right thing and you're going in the right direction. And so you want to have measurable, like with my clothier, I shut that down in 2012. And that's why I was able to give YouTube a go. And I knew to shut down that clothier because I was looking at metrics of my competitors and how much money they were making. And I realized I just didn't have the money to invest in creating higher conversions. I didn't own my back and my clothing, my tailor shops. So I realized, okay, I need to fold up and focus in on what's winning, what's working for me, which was content creation on YouTube.
Absolutely. And you know, there's so many gold nuggets out of what you just said. That's amazing. The first thing I'll hit on is, you know, we talk about you getting your start in 2012, but really your start was way before that, right? Doing the writing, the articles online, right? Working with the other channel, right? And that experience. So a lot of people, they see your success and they just think, oh, maybe you got lucky. Obviously, you hustled and you worked very hard, but really you're preparing for this moment for a long time, right? And that's what our viewers, I say, like, what are you doing right now that could be an asset for the YouTube channel that you want to start? You know, and you're a perfect example of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, we talked about Gary Vaynerchuk. I mean, and you don't have to go to the level of hustle that this guy does, but you've got to put in what you've really got to be honest with yourself and say, if I really want this, am I willing to sacrifice to go get it? Like I said, I gave up a lot of sleep. I have 4 kids and I wanted to spend time with them. And I realized that I wanted to create a business and a lifestyle that would allow me, like I was saying, I'm returning from a 6-month trip. We lived in Ukraine for 3 months, not because we really want to do crazy things. We just simply wanted to spend time with family. My wife's Ukrainian. We spent a month, though, in Thailand, and that was pretty awesome. And I was able to do that because I always knew where I wanted to go. The end, I knew what the end wanted, or somewhat what I wanted it to be, and therefore I'm able to work backwards and make sure to create a business which sustains that.
That's great, because I think anybody, including myself, can be inspired what you said and what you experienced and what you did and accomplished for yourself, right? That's a big deal, you know, time freedom. That's one of the reasons why people want to become YouTubers. Now, on that note, right, most people when they think of YouTubers, especially at the beginning, they're thinking about like these comedians, actors, obviously big people like Casey Neistat. One of the reasons your channel stood out to me, not just because that was an idea I was thinking of way back when, is because it's unique, right? It's different than 99.9% of YouTube. And even if people doubted that was something that could grow into what it is today, you kept at it. Obviously, there's multiple channels doing similar things. Can you talk about people pursuing whatever it is they're interested in, and as you did, pursuing the fashion and giving tips to men, and even beyond that, you have other aspirations as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like I came up with this great idea. What happens is you throw something out there, you make mistakes, and you fail most of the time. And in fact, I mean, do you like baseball?
Yeah, I love baseball.
Okay,
Mariners fan.
So to get in the
Seattle.
Hall of Fame, if I'm hitting 400, you think I'm going to get in the Hall of Fame if I do that over 20 years?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. But you can still, like, you're missing the ball and striking out 6 out of 10 times. Yet that is, if you can hit 400, that's friggin' amazing. So if you strike out 6 out of 10 times, you're still going to get in the Hall of Fame and be at the very top. So what that tells us is that you've got to go out there and try a number of things. And the vast majority of things will fail. What's funny is people don't remember all of my failures. They don't see everywhere else that we're just not doing super. I mean, Instagram, we're doing okay there, but the video, I've been putting out about 100 videos on Instagram, and it really hasn't taken off. And you've got to go out there and fail, learn from that failure. I mean, some people say take pride in failure, and to a degree, but really focus and figure out what wins and go down that route. Gary Vaynerchuk said this once, how a guy said, I tried it 1,000,000 times, it didn't work. He's like, okay, really, you tried it 1,000,000 times? No, you tried it 1,000 times. No, you tried it 100 times. No, he tried it twice. I mean, that's not 1,000,000 times. You've got to gotta keep, figure out what works. YouTube worked for me. I wrote 100 articles.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't write anything because I can't type to save my life. I'm like that hunt and pecker. So it really was difficult to do it, but I did it, and it got me in the position. Now I know I don't want to do that. Written isn't as valuable to me.
All your experiences, just like so many YouTubers, including the big ones and the ones that are more unknown, they usually have an experience previous to YouTube that was part of why they're succeeding now,
everyone
right?
thinks Casey Neistat's overnight success. What they don't see is that he's older than a lot of the other YouTubers, and for 20 years he grinded.
Yes.
And that he has this strong background in film.
Once was sleeping on somebody else's couch with nothing. No one knew him. So I love his story. And thank you. I'm glad you brought that up too, right? So the last thing I want to talk about, actually, before we get into the last question, I want to do something fun. It's called the lightning round, right? Hopefully you want to have some fun here. So these are just fun questions we'd like to ask. Sure. Oh, I think I know the answer to this, but cat or dog?
I like both, but dog. I do like dogs.
You got a lot of videos with dogs. I just tweeted out.
I just put out a video with dogs.
Yeah. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What book should every influencer start reading now?
Built to Sell by John Wartlow.
What's your favorite documentary or movie?
I love anything with World War II. Really like
Isn't that
history.
crazy that I brought up Normandy earlier?
Oh, yeah.
I love World War II too. What is your hidden talent?
I'm pretty good with weapons.
Whoa, I'm not gonna mess with you. What is your morning ritual?
Morning ritual is usually, it starts at about 1 a.m. and it's taking my 5-year-old and putting her on the potty.
Man, we have so much. I do the same thing too.
Yeah.
If you could give a TED Talk, what would it be about?
It would, that's a hard one. Maybe that there's too many TED Talks out there. I don't know.
How has failure or setback set you up for success later in life? Do you have a favorite failure or story?
I have, I would say failure is what makes you. Because it will break a lot of people and they won't be able to take it. This isn't my favorite story, but I think it's the most impactful one. Is in 2009, my sister, I got a call and she's dead. She just killed herself. So I was so busy in my business that I could not even grieve. I had to jump into my truck, drive down to Austin, Texas. I'm working while I'm clearing out her apartment. And the rest of my family, I'm the oldest son. I remember driving across country with her urn in my lap, taking business calls. And I would say, what you want to do is, whatever you're doing, don't let it own you the way my business owned me. And you really want to, whatever you're doing, you want to give yourself the margin in your life so that you can live your life. You can grieve, you can spend time with your kids. I know so many dads out there, they're working hard, they think they're delivering what their family needs. And at the end of the day, they don't even know their kids when they come home. And so, that's like a big message I try to get to people is, when you talk to people that you care about, let them know you love them, be open, and don't let your business, be a prison that you get stuck in.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing that. I know that, that's a deep story, but in my experience, wisdom says too that will pay dividends back to your business long term, right? Because there's nothing worse than burning out or breaking relationships. So I appreciate that story. Do you have a quote you live your life by or think about often?
Yeah, I guess it's a Persian saying, I cried because I had no shoes till I met a man who had no feet.
Deep stuff. Were you guys expecting this? I wasn't, and I love it. Okay. The last one is favorite place in the whole world and why? Home.
So I grew up in Midland, Texas, and I still consider that home. But I live in a small town now called Wittenberg, Wisconsin. And it's not much. It's a town of 1,113 people in the Northwoods.
Wow.
But, people, I think everyone needs to have a home. Right now, that's where we go back to. We've been on the road for 6 months. We've been to Thailand, Ukraine, Los Angeles, so many cities and states in the United States. But we just look forward to going home, wherever you decide to make it.
Amazing answers. Wow, some of the most deepest answers we've ever gotten on this show. So I appreciate that.
I was a philosophy major, so maybe that.
Okay, so there are actually two more things that end this. One of them is, so, I looked at the history of your channel. Of course, like almost everyone on YouTube, you had to start at 0, right?
Yeah.
Your early videos had, very few views compared to what you're getting now, right?
Yeah.
So maybe a few hundred, 1,000, and grew to 5,000, 10,000. But then once in a while, you get these videos that do like 1 or 2 million. And unique to your channel, you have many of those throughout even the early history.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you would share how other people could do the same thing? And I have thoughts about how you did that, but I would love to hear what was your what's kind of like the reason why that happened and how you did that.
Well, I will start at one point, I will correct, I didn't really start at 0 because I had relationships. So one of the early things I did, I gave away my best content. So Brett McKay at The Art of Manliness, I was just giving him my best videos. I never got paid for an article I wrote for him, even though he was offering a lot of money for articles. I would do it because I believed in his mission and I was always authentic. Now, things that went viral, it was really hard to predict. I did find that very practical, useful things started going viral. But the videos I get most proud of are the ones that I know I can go deep on and I can have an impact on whoever watches that video. And I try to give the action steps. But like how to roll your shirt sleeves, how to tuck in a shirt.
Utility type of videos, right?
And what's interesting about those
is how many men out there can relate to this? How to make a bow tie, how to tie a tie, those kind of things, right?
And we've put those all out there. And sometimes it's those very simple ones, which you think maybe have already been done in your industry. But like the how to tie a tie videos, we're doing 18 of them. We've already put out 16. But what we did different, because there's many out there, is we took a different angle on the camera and we looked at the tie as the way a man would look at it when he's tying it. It was a small change, but
I've actually never seen that.
Separates us from all the other how to tie videos out there.
One thing we always like to ask people, especially with the kind of success you've had, is if you were talking to a 14-year-old, maybe this is something you would say to your son, right? And they're a young person, or maybe they're older, right? They're just starting out YouTube. What would be like some of the pieces of advice you'd want to give them to start their journey out correctly?
It would, you've really got to want to do this. And the word passion is a bit overplayed, but I would say that you've got to be able to be willing to commit to it, to go through and to get really good at it. Because the things I think people become passionate of are the things they're really good at. But to become good at anything, you've got to be willing to go through the failure, be able to step on the mines, to be able to deal with the hate. And a 14-year-old, I'm hoping they don't deal with too much hate at this point, but it is something that's what defines you, your ability to not deal with the success, but to deal with the failure and be able to pick yourself up.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're going to put all your links, socials, YouTube channel, obviously, down below. You guys go check it out. Real Men, Real Style, correct?
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And you guys love this stuff, especially if you're a man, okay? Or if you're into men
8% of
style.
our audience is actually women.
There you go. Maybe they just like your look. They appreciate your charm.
They tell me that our stuff is, you can use it for both. Yeah. And I've thought about actually creating a woman's channel, but my wife doesn't like that idea. She's like, no.
She likes the 8%, and she wants that to go lower, maybe.
Yeah, she does.
You guys check it out. Thank you. Again, here on Video Influencers, helping build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. Thanks for watching.